Every pool contractor runs into this problem. You get a request for a quote, you go out, you talk to the homeowner, you measure, you take photos, you learn about their dreams, you send out a detailed proposal, and then 3 days later, if you don't get ghosted, they hit you with, we went with somebody else, they were $8,000 cheaper. Now, obviously you're devastated and you think price is the problem, but it's not, it's your positioning. And in this video, we're gonna talk about the brand pyramid and show you exactly how to get your business positioned at the top of that pyramid so people don't expect discounts and they're pre-sold on you before you even go out to the job site. My name's Douglas, I'm the founder of AquaLeads, and I started AquaLeads because I saw how many contractors do good work, they care about their customers, they care about their employees, but they keep getting screwed over by the guys who are doing it wrong. And so my mission on this channel is to help the real guys who are licensed, bonded, insured, who care about their work, who care about craftsmanship, win more jobs and make more money. Now, there are a lot of excellent builders who are competing on price, and what happens is they lose to somebody who's charging 30 or 40% more. And the difference isn't quality, it's not marketing spend, it's not how many ads you're running, it's all about positioning. Now, where you sit on the contractor brand pyramid determines whether the homeowner is going to compare your quote with 3 other quotes, or if they're just going to pick you before they even talk about price. So level 1 on the contractor brand pyramid is commodity. And this is where about 73% of pool builders live. It's not that they're bad, it's that they're the same as everybody else. They're lumped in this pool with 73% of all of the builders in the United States. And they say things like competitive pricing, call for a quote, best work guaranteed. Like everybody says the same thing and it gets very muddied in the marketing. Like on this screen, I'll pop up a bunch of different pool contractor websites and you're going to notice they all look the same. They all blend in. And so if nobody can tell a difference in you, if you sound just like your competitor A, competitor B, competitor C, the only thing that they can tell a difference in is the quote. They can tell a difference in price, and that's all they're going to be looking for when you're bundled into the commodity part of the brand pyramid. Last year, we started working with a pool builder who's been around for 20 plus years. He's been doing it right. He's been doing things the right way. And honestly, he's been marketing just like everybody else, which seems right instinctively. He wasn't generating very many leads. Out of those leads, he wasn't closing very many jobs because homeowners now are getting 10 different quotes and they're going to just compare against price. They haven't really decided that they want to work with you until they see the price. And that's exactly what was happening to this client. When we came in and we implemented our authority system for him, and he started generating like 10 times the leads. He went from getting, I think it was like 400 in 2023 to about 3,000 in 2024. Now this might sound scary, right? Generating that many leads, but what it did for him is it allowed him to position himself outside of that commodity area. When he had a good ad running with a good call to action and a good lead magnet and so many leads to choose from, he was in this really powerful position where he could actually be selective on who he wanted to work for. All of a sudden, when you have so much work that you're not afraid to tell people no, people get really weird about being told no. It's like, hey, look, this project really isn't for us. Here's some referrals who can take on something like this. He was able to double down and focus on the higher quality jobs, the 150,000 plus backyards, because he didn't need to scrap for the $50,000 tire kicker. He didn't need to get on his knees and beg them to take his bid and undercut himself just to get the work and keep his guys busy. Now, it wasn't as easy as like just snapping your fingers and deciding you want to work with only the high quality leads. Like that's what everybody wants. It all comes down to the positioning and being in a position where you can really focus on those quality leads. So by doubling down and building his brand as an authority instead of a commodity, attracting more leads and being incredibly selective with who he actually worked with, he bumped himself outside of that commodity pyramid where people were coming and saying, hey, I heard you only work with X, Y, and Z. Hey, I heard you're the right person for a job like this. They've seen the work, they've seen the brand, and they were already pre-sold before getting a quote. This allowed him to move his prices up, have better margins, and ultimately give the clients a better backyard and a better experience. When you're competing on price, you're scrappy. And you can't always give the best experience. And this just keeps you stuck down there in the bottom. And he had finally started to break out of that level. Now, this is just the start. Once you're generating this number of leads and you can be really specific and start to break through that commodity level, you're moving into level 2, which is a professional. And a professional is where the good contractors live. The contractors doing, over $2 million a year. They've got over 30 Google reviews, most of them 5 stars. They've got their trucks wrapped. They've got a nice modern website. They've got all of the modern branding that you would expect from a company who is a professional. Once you finally break out of that commodity, $1 million and under a year, just doing cheap jobs and begging for work, you can start to invest back in your brand. You're not just taking the bare minimum jobs. You're not doing the cheapest jobs. You have some extra margins to put back into your marketing and the overall aesthetic of your business. That's what makes you a professional. You don't look cheap, you look established, and the homeowners start to respect you. You're not just pulling up in a beat up truck, you're pulling up in a wrapped company truck. It looks a lot better. But with the respect from the homeowners comes the eyes from the other competition. You've essentially put yourself into the big leagues, which is good because you're not competing with that 73%, but the other percent here, the other professionals, they're serious, they're legit, and they have sales teams. So you need to be ready for what comes with that. So now your meetings look a little bit different. They're a little more professional. The homeowners take you seriously, but they're getting quotes from companies similar to you. All have great proposals, all have great reviews, all have professional looking builds, right? Everything looks perfect. And so they're still going to be comparing you to that guy and the other guy who's a professional. You're not competing on price as much, but you still are, because the homeowner ultimately wants to go with the person who's going to give them the best experience. And if they can save a little bit here or there, they're going to do it. Now, in these big leagues, you're working with $10 million plus companies, and you break into that when you're at 2 to 3 million. These guys can have wiggle room. They can take the job just to make sure you don't eat. It's a very savage market. Now, if you do everything right and you do what I show you, you can break through to level 3 so that you're not being compared with these guys and people are begging to work with you. When I talk about this, a specific client comes to mind who started out spending about $1,500 on ads with one company truck to now he's closer to $4,000 or $5,000 a month on ads. He's got all of his vehicles are wrapped. He's got 3 sales guys running around for him. And this sounds great. He's up against Cal Pools, Shasta. He's up against these really big companies. They're usually comparing these big bids against his bids. And the crazy thing here is to establish yourself as a professional, your expenses go up immensely. You need to be doing about 200 grand a month just to cover your overhead if you want to play at this level. Now, if you're barely peaking 3 million, that doesn't give you very much to play with. And so this is a very serious game, and this is exactly where he's at right now. So what we're doing is doubling down on branding. We're doubling down on branding and authority and education so that people see him and his business before they even get a quote. They recognize him. There's that weird familiarity that you run into with celebrities because you've seen them so often. So ideally, now that he's going out, he's competing with these bigger companies, he's got that celebrity edge, right? His company is more seen because of our hyper local targeting on Facebook ads to help him break through that professional barrier. Now, level 3 is authority, and it's where price stops being the main concern. It's where homeowners have already decided that they want to work with you before they even have you come out and do an estimate. It's where homeowners don't even do multiple proposals and compare. It's essentially like, imagine that referral that you got. You ever got a referral where it's somebody you already did a project for, the person calls, says, hey, you did so-and-so's project, here's what I want, how much does it cost? You tell them, they say sick, here's a duffel bag full of money, get started. Like, that is the best deal you'll ever run into, and they're very few and far between. You get those from referrals, you run out of referrals, and then you're stuck begging people to take your discounted rate, right? Just because you need to sell a job. Now, when you get into the authority part of the pyramid, there's very few people. It's where close rates go from like 20% up to 50% because they've already pre-sold themselves. You're upfront with your pricing. You've got really good marketing out there. You're super educational. So people know what to expect before you even come out. If they've decided they're willing to spend $70,000 on a backyard before even having you come out, when you come out and it's $70,000, guess what? They're ready to go. And that's the spot that you need to be building towards. No matter what stage you're in, if you're just in commodity right now, if you're in professional, the goal should always be working up to authority. So people are pre-sold before you even get there. Authority contractors don't compete, they specialize. They specialize in a specific type of build, specific type of service, whether it's luxury high-end or low-priced remodel. You need to be seen as the expert at that one thing. And if you're in an area with a million plus 20-mile radius, like in Phoenix, it's huge. There's thousands of contractors out here, right? But 5 million plus people, new homes going up all the time. It's really easy to specialize in just one thing. That scarcity mindset's going to hold you back. I'm really good friends with the We Fix Ugly Pool guy, which is kind of crazy. We just bumped into each other through a mutual, and he is telling me he doubled down on pool renovation. He can build custom pools. He can do all of that. But when he started doubling down and marketing just pool renovation, his business quadrupled in that first year. It was all about specific messaging, specific marketing, and being the best at it. These types of people teach. They don't just promote. They meet the homeowner where they're at. Like if you can imagine over here, you've got a homeowner who wants this product, who wants a pool. They're searching for information about this. They're not searching for you up here because they don't know you exist. They're searching for information about the pool. But if you're creating content that educates them about the pool, they're finding you through their research. And this is where authority really allows you to step in. You're not competing on the high-priced keywords of pool builder near me. You're competing on how much does it cost? How much will it raise my electricity bill? What do I need to know before building? How long does it take, right? What is the process? They're asking these questions in their research phase. And if you're the one providing the education for them when they're ready to do that service, when they're ready to purchase a pool, guess who they're gonna call? The person who educated them along the way. So here's the real question. Where do you sit right now? Are you a commodity builder? Are you a professional builder competing with these big guys? Or have you broken through to authority? Are you educating your customers before they become customers? Are you giving them value and selling them before you even come out? So if you're sitting at level 1 or 2, now you know why the conversation is always about price. You're not standing out enough. You're not special enough for them to consider anything else, and they're purely shopping on price. After watching this video, you should have a clear roadmap of what you need to install into your business, what you need to change to get into that authority barrier. I'm gonna be honest with you though. Most people don't have what it takes to break out of commodity into professional and then break into authority. It takes a lot of grind, it takes a lot of hustle, and it takes a lot of dedication because you are essentially switching the way that you've been marketing your business, the way that everyone's told you to do it, and you are leading with education and you're leading with value. It's very hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around. This kind of system is exactly what we do for businesses. So if you feel like you're at a fork in the road here, you can take notes on everything, you can flip all this stuff around and you can pass it on to your admin, or you can have a professional come in. We fly out to you, we film your content, we film your ads, we set up a lead generation, lead notification, and AI nurturing system so that you get more leads, you get qualified leads, you get ranked on Google, ChatGPT, and Claude and all of the AI, and essentially transform your business so that you are the authority, so that you're seen everywhere, so that everyone trusts you, they like you, and you're selling more jobs because they're pre-sold before you even go out there. We only work with 20 clients. We have an application and a wait list. The link for that is in the description. If you want to see what it would look like to work with us, you need to qualify first. So fill that out. Otherwise, there's tons of free videos on this channel. It gives you like everything that we do for the clients. When we come out and we install this system is out here on the YouTube. So if you're smart, you can learn it all yourself and implement it, or you can say, I don't have time for this, pay us money, we'll do it for you. Check out the videos on the channel and we'll see you in the next video.